What are the best brand new hybrid SUVs that you can buy? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. Although fully electric cars and SUVs are just around the corner, a lot of consumers are not quite ready to make that full leap quite yet due to charging limitations, range issues, or just the high price tags. That's what makes a hybrid such a perfect compromise and the perfect transition car when moving from a traditional gas car into a fully electric car. You don't need to compromise with a hybrid because it does not need to be charged and plugged in. And the price tags on a lot of new hybrid cars and SUVs are pretty reasonable, and in many cases, you don't need to spend a lot more money in order to get the hybrid version. And because hybrids are more popular and desirable than ever before, they're more likely to have higher resale value down the road than your traditional gas cars too. The question is, what are the best brand new hybrid SUVs that you can buy right now? Well, make sure to stick around to the end of the video because that's what we're going to find out. Let's start with my number 10 pick, the Kia Sorento Hybrid. Now, this is an all-new entry in the hybrid market, as Kia has never offered a hybrid version of the Sorento in the past, and the latest version uses an all-new hybrid drivetrain that's shared between both Kia and Hyundai. The drivetrain consists of a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that comes matched to an electric motor and battery pack, giving a total system output of around 230 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, giving the Sorento really good performance, but more importantly, much better fuel economy than the gas-powered versions of the Sorento. The hybrid is capable of getting between 35 and 40 miles per gallon, or around 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is a big improvement over the regular Sorento gas versions. Best of all, you don't need to compromise in any way by going with the Sorento Hybrid because it comes with most of the same features and technology that are available on the other Sorento trim levels. It has 6 passenger seating with second row captain's chairs, and the third row seats can be folded into the floor, giving you a large cargo area and making this one of the most practical SUVs in the segment. The Sorento also offers tons of great features and comes with one of the best infotainment systems on the market, which is another huge plus. My only concerns with the Sorento Hybrid are the fact that it's only offered in front-wheel drive, so you can't even get it with all-wheel drive, which is a huge issue. And although it's initially launched in the States, it's not available in Canada quite yet, although it is coming. And finally, my last concern is the turbocharged hybrid drivetrain. Turbocharged engines are very complicated and they don't tend to have quite as good reliability as a traditional naturally aspirated engine, which is a lot simpler and more reliable long term. I guess time will tell to see how the Sorento Hybrid performs over the long haul, and of course you have that really good Hyundai warranty, which is a really big bonus. But because it's not time tested and we haven't seen how it does on the market, I have to give this one a 10th place for now. So let's move on to SUV number 9 on the list, the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. Now, the Tucson is a very close relative of the Sorento, and both SUVs actually share the exact same hybrid drivetrain, which means you get the same 1.6-liter turbo engine matched to an electric motor and battery pack, along with a 6-speed automatic transmission and standard front-wheel drive, although you can get all-wheel drive as an option, which is something that is not available on the Sorento. The Tucson Hybrid is a really strong performer with plenty of power, and it also has great fuel economy, easily able to achieve between 35 and 40 miles per gallon, or around 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. The fact that you get all-wheel drive with the Tucson Hybrid but the same or better fuel economy than the Sorento Hybrid is a nice bonus. The other thing that's great about the Tucson is its overall design and features. It's a really striking looking SUV with a great exterior and interior design, and it comes with a lot of really nice upscale features that you usually don't see in a lot of competing SUVs. It comes with one of the best touchscreen infotainment systems on the market, and the list of available features is really impressive. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of buyers go for it based on the design and features alone because it's a very impressive SUV, but there are a few things about the Tucson Hybrid that hold it back from a higher spot on this list. One of the things that holds it back from a higher spot on this list is the fact that it does use a fairly complicated turbocharged 4-cylinder engine hybrid system, which doesn't have any track record. How it's going to do long term in terms of reliability is definitely a question mark, but historically turbocharged engines do tend to be more problematic than just regular naturally aspirated engines. Fortunately, like the Sorento, the Tucson does come with a really good warranty. Down the road, I could definitely see the Tucson Hybrid making its way much higher on this list, but for the time being, if you want something that offers more peace of mind, let's move on to SUV number 8, the Ford Escape Hybrid. One thing that's great about the Escape Hybrid is that it's simple, reliable, and you know exactly what you're getting because Ford has been making hybrid systems for an extremely long time. And the hybrid system that you get in the Escape has been used in other Ford models like the Fusion Hybrid for over a decade. It consists of a simple, naturally aspirated 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine matched to an electric motor and battery pack, giving you decent performance, but more importantly, really good fuel economy. The Escape Hybrid is easily able to achieve over 40 miles per gallon or around 6 liters per 100 kilometers, which is really impressive. It's also a fairly well-designed SUV with plenty of interior space, good cargo room, and comes with tons of available features and active safety technology. The pricing for the Escape Hybrid varies quite widely to suit a lot of different budgets, and unlike most other hybrid SUVs, it's often available with a lot of additional incentives too, which can make it a really good buy. Still, although it's a pretty well-rounded SUV, there are better options out there, so let's move on to SUV number 7, the Lexus UX250H. The UX is the smallest, most affordable SUV that Lexus makes, and the hybrid version is the most popular variant. If you're shopping for a crossover SUV that absolutely has to come from a luxury brand, then you really can't go wrong choosing the UX250H if you're shopping on a budget. Not only is it really well priced for a luxury crossover, but it's also really efficient too, easily able to achieve over 40 miles per gallon or around 6 liters per 100 kilometers. And because it's a Lexus, it comes backed with an amazing reputation for build quality and long-term reliability. If you're looking for a small luxury SUV to hold on to for the long term, then this is one of the best choices that you can go with. The only issues with the UX really are the fact that it is a very small crossover, which doesn't give it much interior space or cargo room. It also has a pretty complicated control setup thanks to a confusing and pretty dated infotainment system that works using a trackpad on the center console. If you can get around that though, and if it has enough space to work for you, then it is a very good crossover to go with. But if you ultimately do need an SUV that just offers a bit more space, then you're going to want to check out SUV number 6 on the list, the Lexus NX300H. The NX300H is basically just a UX that's one size up, which means that you get all the exact same benefits, including Lexus's reputation for amazing build quality and long-term reliability. This is an amazing SUV to buy if you want to hold on to it for the long term and not have to worry about any expensive repair bills. It's also very fuel efficient thanks to a 4-cylinder engine and hybrid electric system that can get between 35 and 40 miles per gallon or around 7 liters per 100 kilometers. Unfortunately though, there are some issues with the NX that do hold it back from a higher spot on the list. For one thing, it is a pretty dated SUV, having been around now for several years, and it definitely shows that age in certain areas, including the interior, which has a pretty dated infotainment system and control setup, which can be very confusing and difficult to use. It's also not a very spacious SUV. Despite its size, which looks pretty substantial, it has a very cramped interior, both in the front seats and back seats, which is pretty surprising. It's important to note that there is going to be an all-new version of the NX that's going to be released soon for 2022, and that's probably going to address a lot of the issues with the current model. So if you can afford to wait, that might be the NX to go for. In the meantime, let's move on to SUV number 5 on the list, the Honda CR-V Hybrid. Now, I've said this many times before, the CR-V is one of the top crossover SUVs on the market thanks to its amazing combination of interior space, practicality, great features and safety technology, and just a good reputation for reliability, resale value, and value for money. It pretty much nails everything the typical crossover shopper is looking for, and the hybrid version of the CR-V might just be the best variant of them all. What I really like about Honda's hybrid system is the fact that it uses a simple, durable 4-cylinder engine, which is really good for longevity, and it's a very advanced, clever hybrid system too, due to the fact that it doesn't even use a conventional transmission. It works extremely well and produces amazing fuel economy, as the CR-V hybrid is rated for around 40 miles per gallon or around 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. If you're looking for a spacious, practical, well-designed hybrid SUV that also comes backed with a strong reputation for reliability, then you really can't go wrong choosing the CR-V hybrid. The only issue for me is the fact that it is only available in the States and you cannot buy one in Canada. Hopefully that's something that's going to change for the next generation of the CR-V, which should be released in the near future. Let's move on to SUV number 4 on the list, the Lexus RX 450h. Although Lexus does offer a lot of hybrid SUVs, the RX 450h is one of my absolute favorites, and it's one of the easiest hybrid SUVs to recommend. Firstly, it has one of the best reputations when it comes to long-term reliability with a proven track record, making it one of the best SUVs to hold on to for a very long time. It's also just a really well-designed SUV with a striking exterior design and an extremely luxurious upscale interior that's filled with amazing materials and build quality. Not only is the RX a luxurious feature-packed SUV, but it's also a very practical one with a really spacious interior and a good-sized cargo area. You can get an optional third row seat, although I don't really recommend it because it is extremely cramped. Unlike most of its competitors, the RX 450h uses a larger V6 engine instead of a small 4-cylinder engine for its hybrid system. Now, because of that, it does have really good performance and acceleration, but the fuel economy is not as good as other hybrids, and it can only get around 30 miles per gallon or 8 to 9 liters per 100 kilometers. Aside from that though, you really can't go wrong choosing the Lexus RX. It is one of the best luxury SUVs that you can buy, thanks to its amazing design, but more importantly, its amazing reputation for reliability. This is an SUV that's going to last an extremely long time without giving you any serious issues, which is part of the reason why it has such amazing resale value too. Of course, you could also say most of the same things about SUV number 3 on the list, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid. The Highlander has traditionally been mechanically related to the Lexus RX, which gives it a lot of the same benefits, including a great reputation for long-term reliability. One of the main advantages to the Highlander though is the fact that it is a larger, more practical SUV that comes standard with 3-row seating, which is a pretty rare thing in the hybrid segment. Although the Highlander isn't the most spacious 3-row SUV in the market, you can definitely fit 7 people inside of one if you have to. Accessing the third row seats is fairly easy, and you can also fold down the third row seats, giving you a very large cargo area. The interior is a really well-designed space too, with plenty of great features, easy-to-use controls, and a pretty good infotainment system. Although it doesn't have the best graphics, it's fairly easy to use, and it does come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And unlike the RX, which uses a large V6 engine, with the Highlander you do get a smaller, more efficient 4-cylinder engine for its hybrid system, which does make it a lot more fuel efficient. The Highlander Hybrid is rated for around 35 miles per gallon or 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is really good fuel economy for a large 3-row SUV. Ultimately, if you need the passenger room and cargo space, you just can't go wrong choosing the Highlander Hybrid. It is one of the best mid-sized hybrid SUVs that you can buy. If you don't need the space that you get with the Toyota Highlander though, and you want to save yourself a bit of money, then you might want to check out SUV number 2 on the list, the Toyota Venza. The Venza is just one of the best hybrid crossover SUVs that you can buy for so many reasons. For one thing, it has an extremely reliable and fuel-efficient hybrid system, using Toyota's Synergy Drive hybrid system with a 4-cylinder gasoline engine that can easily get around 40 miles per gallon or 6 liters per 100 kilometers. The performance is really impressive too, thanks to its decent power and smooth, quiet operation. Toyota just knows how to make a really good hybrid system, and they've been doing it for an extremely long time, which is why some of their hybrids are the most reliable ones on the market. So if you're looking for an SUV that's going to last you for the long haul and not give you a lot of expensive repair issues, then the Venza is one of the best choices that you can go with. The other great thing about the Venza is that it has a very upscale looking design. It kind of looks like a compromise between a regular Toyota SUV and a far more luxurious Lexus SUV, and I think that's a really good space to fit in. The interior is spacious and all of the finishes are really nice, and you get plenty of great features and technology, including a large infotainment system and lots of standard active safety features. Ultimately, the Venza is easily one of the best hybrid SUVs on the market, and it's one of the easiest ones to recommend too. The only way you can do any better is by considering my number 1 pick, which is the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Yes, the RAV4 Hybrid gets the number 1 spot on this list, and for really good reason, because it basically offers all of the exact same benefits as the Venza Hybrid with just a few small additional perks too. One of those main perks is value for money. Although the RAV4 Hybrid is mechanically identical to the Venza, using the exact same hybrid drivetrain with the same fuel economy and same performance, you also get pretty much the same features and technology. The RAV4 Hybrid is more aggressively priced. It can cost between $3,000 to $4,000 less than the equivalent Venza, which makes it a much better buy. The other advantage that the RAV4 Hybrid has over the Venza is the usability of its interior, because it comes with much more straightforward controls and an easier control setup. Other than that though, you're getting all of the exact same benefits, including a very spacious interior, tons of available features that are well designed, and a really reliable and fuel efficient hybrid system. And the best part is that you're getting all of these amazing benefits for only a small price premium over the equivalent gas version of the RAV4. Ultimately, you just can't go wrong choosing the RAV4 Hybrid. It is one of the absolute best crossover SUVs on the market and one of the easiest ones to recommend. So let me know what you thought of the hybrid SUVs on this list. Which one would you buy? Would you buy something else? And if you have any suggestions for future car videos or car comparisons, just leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to check out some of my other car videos, you can take a look at these links right over here. And you can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.